Chapter 1 of Miss Crespigny. This is a Librivox recording. All Librivox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit librivox.org. Reading by Grace Buchanan. Miss Crespigny by Frances Hodgson Burnett. Author's Note. These love stories were written for and printed in Peterson's Ladies Magazine. Owing to the fact that this magazine was not copyrighted, a number of them have been issued in book form without my consent, and representing the sketches to be my latest work. If these youthful stories are to be read in book form, it is my desire that my friends should see the present edition, which I have revised for the purpose, and which is brought out by my own publishers. Frances Hodgson Burnett, October 1878. Chapter 1. Lysbeth. "Another party?" said Mrs. Despard. "Oh, yes," said Lysbeth. "And of course a little music, and then a little supper, and a little dancing, and all that sort of thing." And she frowned impatiently. Mrs. Despard looked at her in some displeasure. "You are in one of your humours again, Lysbeth," she said sharply. "Why shouldn't I be?" answered Miss Crespigny, not a whit awed by her patroness. "People's humours are their privileges. I would not help mine if I could. I like them because they are my own private property, and no one else can claim them." "I should hardly think anyone would want to claim yours," said Mrs. Despard dryly, but at the same time regarding the girl with a sort of curiosity. Lysbeth Crespigny shrugged her shoulders, those expressive shoulders of hers. A peculiar girl, even the mildest of people called her. And as to her enemies, what did they not say of her? And her enemies were not in the minority. But peculiar was not an unnatural term to apply to her. She was peculiar. Seeing her kneeling close before the fender this winter evening, one's first thought would have been that she stood apart from other girls. Her very type was her own, and no one had ever been heard to say of any other woman, "She is like Lysbeth Crespigny." She was rather small of figure. She had magnificent hair. Her black brows and lashes were a wonder of beauty. Her eyes were dark, mysterious, supercilious. She often frightened people. She frightened modest people with her nerve and coolness, bold people with her savage sarcasms, quiet people with her moods. She had alarmed Mrs. Despard occasionally when she had first come to live with her, but after 3 years, Mrs. Despard, who was strong of nerve herself, had become used to her caprices, though she had not got over being curious and interested in spite of herself. She was a widow, this Mrs. Despard. She had been an ambitious nobody in her youth, and having had the luck to marry a reasonable rich man, her ambition had increased with her good fortune. She was keen, like Lysbeth, quick-witted and restless. She had no children, no cares, and thus having no particular object in life, formed one for herself, in making herself pleasingly conspicuous in society. It was her whim to be conspicuous. Not in a vulgar way, however. She was far too clever for that. She wished to have a little social court of her own, and to reign supreme in it. It was not rich people she wanted at her entertainments, nor powerful people. It was talented people. People, shall it be said, who would admire her aesthetic soirees, and talk about her a little while afterward, and feel the distinction of being invited to her house. And it was because Lysbeth Crespigny was peculiar that she had picked her up. During a summer visit to a quaint, picturesque village on the Welsh coast, she had made the acquaintance of the owners of a cottage whose picturesqueness had taken
Sample complete. Ready to continue?